Hey, I'm Dr. Joan Abatio, and today I want us to talk about how to fight depression using our diet. I'm sure that those times you've gone to the hospital and you're suffering from a different illness, whatever it is, and you ask the doctor, what am I supposed to eat? Are there foods I'm supposed to eat in order to fight this? Well, so today I'm here to teach you about foods we can eat in order to fight depression, in order to improve our mood. Now, I want us to understand why these foods are important. First, how does depression come about? There's some chemicals in our brain called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters enable proper functioning of the brain so that the rest of our bodies can function well. It's more like having a generator and you need to have power in the house, but you need to put oil in the generator or fuel in the generator in order for the generator to function so that there can be power in the house. So it's the same thing here. You have the brain, but you need the neurotransmitters to help the brain work. You need these chemicals to help the brain work so that the rest of your body can function normally. Researchers have found that certain neurotransmitters are low in patients who are depressed. And I'll just talk about two of these neurotransmitters. One is serotonin, the other one is dopamine. What are the functions of serotonin? How does serotonin help us when it is, normal? Serotonin is a happy neurotransmitter. When your serotonin levels are normal, you're happy. Your sleep patterns are good. But when your serotonin levels are low, you're depressed. And, there's alteration in your sleep patterns. Maybe you're oversleeping or you're not sleeping a lot. The other neurotransmitter I want to talk about is dopamine. Now, dopamine basically enables us to move. Our muscles, our bodies generally. Dopamine is what is important for us. Dopamine is important for us to have a good memory. Your memory is good because your dopamine levels are good. Dopamine enables us to feel pleasurable reward. What do I mean by that? Now, imagine you go to work and you do something, and at the end of it all, you feel happy, you feel satisfied. Now, that feeling is because of dopamine. Dopamine is important in attention, in mood, in learning. Now, when dopamine is low, you don't even feel satisfied. You feel apathetic. There's nothing you can do that can make you feel good. Your memory is also altered. Your learning is altered. Your attention is altered because dopamine is low. So you end up being depressed. I want to just talk about the foods that can help raise levels of dopamine and serotonin. But how does this happen? Think of a Rolex. Now, in order to make a Rolex is the final product. You need a chapati, you need an egg, you need cooking oil. I often need tomatoes and whatever it is. Some people put cabbage, anything. But the end product is a Rolex. You need serotonin. But in order to make serotonin, there's some substances we call amino acids that you need in order to be able to make serotonin. There's something that you need in your body in order to make dopamine. Now, the primary amino acid necessary for making serotonin is called tryptophan. And the primary amino acid you need in order to make dopamine is called tyrosine. Just want to teach you the foods that contain these amino acids, because once you eat these foods, you have these amino acids in your body and the end product will be serotonin. Actually, the end product will be a good mood and not a depressed mood. So let's start with serotonin. Foods that contain tryptophan: beans, whole wheat, oats, turkey, chicken and chicken products. So actually mostly the breast part, then the eggs, bananas, spinach, pineapples, pumpkin seeds, soya, cheese, and surprisingly, carbohydrates. Now, this is interesting. Well, you realize that most times when girls are depressed, depression is more common in females. So there are those times you're depressed and you start to crave chocolate. You know, that cake. When you're depressed, most of the time you're craving foods that are rich in carbohydrates. This is your brain's way of telling you, hey, serotonin is low. We need to eat something in order to make more of it. That is very surprising. Pregnant women actually also usually crave foods that are high in iron. Now, this is just the body saying iron is low because your blood levels are usually low when you're pregnant. You need to make more blood and you need iron in order to do this. So it's the same thing here. You crave carbohydrates because you need serotonin. Carbohydrate-rich foods, but especially the ones with a low glycemic index, for example, brown rice, wheat bread, dark chocolate, and also seafoods like fish, salmon. These contain high levels of tryptophan, but also they contain vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is necessary to make serotonin. I want you to think of scenarios you've been sad, scenarios you've been very low. There are even times when you're sick and you have depressive symptoms, and usually they tell you to take a walk, to go outside in the sun. You'll feel better, and for some reason sometimes you actually do feel better because there is vitamin D from the sun that is important in the formation of serotonin. Foods that can help increase our levels of dopamine: eggs, turmeric. Chefs, I'm sure we're together. Turmeric is a food spice. Pumpkin seeds, spinach, chicken again, avocado, watermelon, apples, green leafy vegetables, and I'm sure there's so many other foods I haven't talked about. But hey, I hope you've learned something today. I want you to feel more like this guy and less like this guy. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you picked something. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share. Until next time, bye-bye. Thank you.